Welcome to Let's Play Rule the Waves 3 as Germany, starting in 1935. It's January 1956 and episode 83. So welcome back, friends. I think we can, deploy the F words if you've been following this for the last 82 episodes and you're still here. So thank you very much for your attention and your comments and your corrections and your advice and all the rest that you contribute to making this so much fun to play through. Last episode, we had a big think about ASW and the design of a future fleet destroyer, and I'm absolutely going to get to that. But I thought I would start off taking that knowledge and folding it back into the trade protection fleet and seeing what I can do to modernize things a little bit more before I design a whole new trade protection destroyer escort for the fleet. So I'm going to start, I've organized it by displacement. So first of all, the Columbias. One of you, I think it was Pachisi, said, expand the year and then you can see the O's for obsolete ships. Whoops. So let's see what we can do with this lot. The answer's probably not very much, but that's fine. So yeah, these are basically minesweepers. Nothing else really matters. I don't have enough space to put a helicopter on, and I don't think there would be much point. It doesn't have an enhanced sonar or anything like that. So I've just turned the accommodation up to spacious and removed the depth charges and the extra storage for depth charges. So let's just get them and freshen them up a little bit to take the obsolete off and send them to be rebuilt. And then we have the Emmanuel Kants. This is a new class. 1953s, so they have a ASW of 3, a nominal of 8. Let's just go to the redesign. A design of 6. Here, it already was spacious. It didn't have any guns whatsoever. I've taken off the depth charges. I've added a helicopter and a helipad. Already had a hangar. The radar could be increased up to 5, because I think that has an impact on ASW. This may well be the model of a future destroyer escort. I'm keeping the minesweeper gear on. I know that halves the ASW, but if I double the number of ships, then that should be fine. So yeah, this is a little rebuild for the Emmanuel Kants, and we will see about doing an improved version of this for trade protection. So let's just get that going and send them off. And then let's bring this up and go and search for the Emmanuel Kants and see what we can do with this design. So yeah, fitting the helicopter and removing the depth charges and improving the radar is pretty much all we can do with the improved Emmanuel Kants. So we're going to call this the Heinrich Hertz. Whatever did he do? And get them going and have some more of those destroyer escorts, ASW, minesweeping, keeping the sea lanes open kind of guys. So that's the trade protection fleets sorted or organized. Let's have a little look at these Z24s that appear to be ever so slightly obsolete. ASW of 3, nominal of 10. If we go to the build screen, we can see a design of 9. Let's see if there's much we can do with this lot. Now, these are fleet destroyers, so we can't just... So one option is just keep them and take the obsolete status off with a rebuild. Second option is to convert them into destroyer escorts. And third option is to upgrade them to the max as far as we can go. Okay, there's quite a lot of little dinking around to be done on these Z24s. So accommodation to spacious. I've rearranged the guns. It was 3 5-inch, but in 3 single turrets. I put a dual in the front and kept a single in the back. I've increased the number of rounds up to 200, not quite as high as I'd like, but still. And I've improved the fire control to advanced. I've given it a couple of medium radar directed AAs because it didn't have any, and made these 5 inches into dual purpose, which has given us 4 heavy AA, which I know is only tiny, but you know, every little helps. As I said previously, I've been overly harsh on heavy AA and its utility. Single torpedo tube with 2. Ideally, I'd like more, but I don't think I can get more. I've taken off the mines in order to just sneak within the weight limit, taken off the depth charges, of course. 9 ASW, I don't have enough space for a helicopter, and I've increased the radar up to 4. Can't quite manage 5. So that will all help. These very much are second-rate destroyers, and I think I have them out in the Mediterranean, but, you know, still showing the flag and doing a little bit. So let's do this. Oh, a twin 5-inch is not allowable. Okay, let's just go back and revise this. Okay, the Z-24, take 2. So, spacious. I've removed one of the 5-inch guns, still taking it up to 200 rounds, improved the director, made it dual purpose. Heavy AA of only 3 now. A couple of medium AAs as well. Retained the torpedo. Managed to slip on a couple of surface-to-surface missiles, just the 2, but you know, every bit helps. Increased the radar to 3, took off the depth charges, 7 remaining. Not much I can do with those 7 other than just, you know, like add a little bit more shells. There we go, 225 for the shells. And let's save and finish that. So yeah, let's send them off for rebuilding. And this leads us to the, I think it's pronounced move, meaning gull, and see what we can do with these. These are out in the Mediterranean as well. So let's open up these guys for rebuilding. Okay, and again, little tweaking of the move. So again, spacious, again, removed a turret, increased the ammo, improved the director, made it dual purpose, again, only 3 heavy. Dinked with the light AA and the medium AA a little bit, took off the depth charges, consolidated the torpedoes into one 5-tube launcher, made the radar into level 4, put in a couple of surface-to-surface missiles. Again, not great, not cutting edge, but all round still useful. So that is all of them. And then there is just the question of this Z56 that is obsolete. So let's go and rebuild them. Okay, I've again made spacious. I lost one of the turrets, but I've been able to retain 6 4-inches, which is giving us 10 heavy AA, which, you know, is nice. A couple of medium radar directed AA as well. I've consolidated the torpedoes, slightly reduced them by 1 to give us a couple of surface-to-surface missiles. I've added ASW mortars and got rid of the depth charges and increased the radar to level 4. So again, a useful upgrade, if not the best of the best. So let's do that for that. And then its brother could probably also do with the same sort of uplift. So let's just do that one too. That just leaves us the 2 light cruisers in the Mediterranean, the Hamburg and the Leipzig, which are both obsolete too. So let's just give them a new lick of paint and see what we can come up with. Okay, so for this ship, I've been able to, obviously, accommodation to spacious. I've halved the number of 6-inch guns and replaced them with 8 surface-to-surface missiles with 8 reloads. I would have loved to have put a surface-to-air missile on, but for some reason, SAM launchers cost about 360 tons, and then when you put them on, they cost about 600 tons of displacement, because I had like 330 tons to play with, and then I put the SAM on, and then suddenly I was minus 300 or 250 tons for some strange reason. Anyhow, that's not a goer, so we'll keep it with the surface. I've slightly increased the 4-inch guns up to 8, which has given us a heavy AA of 20 plus 4 medium radar directed guns, a couple of lights, just for the hell of it. Increased the number of rounds, given them some torpedoes, partly for the ASW, but mainly just because torpedoes still seem to be a little bit useful once you've loosed off all of these lovely missiles. So yeah, that's should keep that going for... oh, I'm dangerously heavy, am I? Oh yeah. Okay, I'll have to just fiddle with that. Okay, so I've had to reduce one medium mount, but that's allowed me to increase the 4-inch guns for, I don't know, reasons. I had to take off 2 sets of reloads because they're really expensive in topside load capacity. So I've just sneaked in, so hopefully that's now all okay. So yep, let's get that one rebuilt. And then finally the Hamburg. So the Hamburg is smaller, and so it's all tighter. So again, spacious. I've had to lose a gun turret, increase the fire control, reduce the medium AAs, but made them radar directed, put in a AA director for these 4 inches for a 20 heavy AA, which is fine. Had to lose the torpedoes in order to get even 2 surface-to-air missiles and increase the radar up to 5. So that's okie doke that. Hooray. So that's... and finally, I was going to say that's all of the obsoletes, but finally, of course, the Scharnhorst, the sole survivor of the Rune class. Okay, for the Scharnhorst, I haven't remodeled her as I perhaps had hoped. Spacious, lost the rear gun turrets, 3 medium radar directed, 4 AA directors, because we're getting 31 heavy AA out of these 10 4-inch guns, which I'm quite pleased at, with 2 medium surface SAMs. I could do in fact, sorry, 1 heavy and 1 medium SAM and 2 heavy surface. So yeah, quite pleased with that. I mean, it'd be great to do a helicopter. Let me just fiddle again and see if I can come up with a helicopter because of that increase of range across the board. Okay, I'm happier with this. Oh, I was going to say I'm happier, but I've forgotten to put the spacious accommodation on. Whap. Okay, back to the drawing board. Okay, spacious. 6 9-inch guns, best fire control, 3 medium AAs, a couple of AA directors with 10 4-inch guns, giving us 19 heavy anti-aircraft, a couple of torpedoes, 4 surface missile, a heavy SAM and a medium SAM, level 5 radar, and a helicopter to extend the radar range and just help things along. So I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, you must free up X or Y to use your helipad. It's all a bit tricky. Okay, so let's get rid of X. And then I can add in a medium, I think at C or at L. Or indeed at R. Let's do R. I mean, it'll be lost in the clutter here, but that'd be fine. And it should be good with all that. Yes. Hooray. So off you go, Scharnhorst. And I'll have to stick some ships temporarily onto foreign stations. So let's take a couple from these and just put them there. That's fine. Okay, I've had to take a short break because of work. And I had a little bit of a conversation with Laxon over on Discord, and we figured out what heavy SAMs are actually for. And so I've played around with the design of the rune, just as a thought experiment. I've got the Scharnhorst rebuilding with a heavy SAM, but actually what could I do if I really changed this a bit? So first of all, let's go to the SAMs. So on this modified rune, I'm able to get 2 heavy SAMs and 2 medium SAMs onto the same hull, which is pretty good. What do the heavies do? Well, they shoot down planes before they launch their missiles. Now, the medium SAMs shoot down planes, and if you're lucky, might shoot down one of those heavy air-to-surface missiles, because effectively they are the size of small planes. But I like the idea of shooting down planes before they've even launched their missile. I like that a lot. So here we've gone for 2 of each, and the whole fire control is fine with that. The topside load we've absolutely maxed out. We have a helicopter because of the over-the-horizon radar that will give us in a few years' time. Max on radar, a notional ASW value for reasons. Oh, it's because of the helicopter, of course. 6 9-inch guns, 150 rounds. Best fire director that we can manage, because I still think they have a role. I might do another thought experiment to say, well, what happens if I remove them? Can I have even more SAMs? Can I have a SAM-only heavy cruiser? People have argued that heavy cruisers are pointless. But now that they've got heavy SAMs, and those heavy SAMs can shoot down planes before they loose off their missile, I'm liking that use a lot. In addition, we've got 12 4-inch guns for 22 factors as well. Spacious accommodation, 4 torpedo defense. Aluminium structure, because if I take that off, you'll notice the topside capacity goes from 190 down to 178. So who knew that about aluminium, or aluminum if you prefer? Could have diesels, could it? It could, and gives us a bit more weight, costs more. So 101 as opposed to 99, a couple of thousand more, but I mean, what's a couple of thousand between friends? So that's certainly something worth considering. So I'm going to just put that away for the moment, because that was not really what I was aiming to do. I was just looking to tidy everything up and make sure that all the obsoletes were dealt with before I had a little look at a new fleet destroyer. So let's have a look at a fleet destroyer, and then we'll have a look at what a brand new heavy cruiser might look like. So let's bring up one of these first of all. So I'm looking for, now that I've done that research in the last episode, I'm looking for a sort of heavy AA of 10, an ASW of 10, and as much anti-surface as I can manage. I want speed to be nominal. I'm happy with 33 knots. The complement needs to be, accommodation needs to be spacious. I'd love a torpedo defense 1. So let's give it to ourselves. Let's push this up to the max that we can have. A couple of 4 inches. Well, 5 inches would be better. We don't need any of those. 11 heavy is good. Let's just take down some of these pointless light AAs, and we don't really need all of those. So 81 remaining. Let's see if we can do anything around that. So we have 4 torpedoes. I sort of like that. Enhanced sonar, ASW, no helicopter. So again, what if we had 1 helicopter and a helipad? A couple of surface-to-surface missiles. That doesn't really feel enough. So I'm just going to give us a couple more without reloads, because the reloads are really, really expensive. Oh, yeah, and I'm going to increase these up to the max. Oops. And then, so 8 surface-to-surface missiles, a helicopter, 4 torpedoes, a good suite of ASW, a good radar, plenty of firepower, massively overweight. Okay, so first of all, let's get rid of the torpedo defense. Shame, but there you go. Next, let's increase this to diesels. Okay, that gets us a little bit more. We're good for the top side, so that's nice to know. If I take off the AA, actually that loses quite a few, so we'll keep that just for now. Maybe take down to 2 mediums. We only have 4 5-inch guns, so yeah, don't want to lose that. And 300 rounds. If we took the auto loader off, well, that saves quite a bit. Yes, it makes the crew work harder and stuff like that, but yeah, probably reduces their effectiveness against missiles. And yeah, what else can we remove? So we could remove the rockets. That would be a thing. I could bring down the torpedoes down to 2, which is, oh, see, we're within 11 now. We're within 11. That's pretty reasonable. Obviously, oh, we've got these mines. So let's get rid of the mine. Boom. There we are. 3. So 12 ASW value, slightly better than I'd expected. A helicopter, the surface missiles, that's all good. A couple of torpedoes would be nice to have more, but we're not going to manage that. 4 5-inch guns, shame about the auto loader. A couple of mediums, an air director. Is that? Yeah, that's still. That went. Oh, the auto loader actually. Yeah, that takes down the AA as well. Let me have a think. Well, I could just be naughty and set the engine priority to speed, and that reclaims some weight, and then I can give ourselves a couple more torpedoes just as I would like, and I can give ourselves 3 for the medium air defense, maybe even 4. Yeah. And oops, that takes us slightly over if I get rid of the AA director. No, that's a bad thing. So yeah, all right, 23 tons. I could spend it on a little bit more ammo. I could make it cheaper by going to oil and too cheap. I mean, I could still. That's 17,000. The diesel is so totally worth it. So yeah, okay. So we just whap up the ammo to use the remainder of the space. Okay, 335 rounds per gun. Yeah, all right. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, we're going to call this the A1 and number our new destroyers for a new age as... in fact, we could go for DD. Let's go for DD. I mean, what's wrong with that? And then, yeah, just rename them as we go because we're kind of, running into high Z numbers at the moment. So I'm going to save that. That's all okay. And yep, let's give that a couple of months to get going. Okay, pretty pleased with that. Let's go back to that heavy cruiser. Now, we could start a heavy cruiser from scratch. So let's see what we can get for that kind of thing. Okay, well, first thing to notice is previously, if I generated a heavy cruiser, it was a CX-6X something or other design. We've moved to the CA7s. And see, here's the first one, CA7X2, 17,000, which is comparable to the Rune that we were just fiddling with. And yeah, actually, it's a pretty interesting design. We've got 8-inch instead of 9-inch guns, but I can forgive it that. We've got 16 heavy AA, which is pretty nice. We've got 3 medium AA guns. I'm not sure about the 8 light. 130 ammo is a bit on the light side, but not awful. We don't have any torpedoes, which is fine. We've got 2 ASW. I'm not really sure the ASW mortar or rocket is necessary. We do not have a helicopter, but we do have 2 heavy and 1 SAM and a couple of, well, 4 surface-to-surface missiles as well. So yeah, I'm going to look through some of these for a speed of 44, which seems a bit high, but I'm just going to cycle through some of these designs and see which ones seem the most interesting. So this has to be random, unfortunately. So who knows what the lucky dip will be. So X5 is up next. so one heavy SAM, one medium SAM on an 11,000, only 30 knots. So not super thrilled by that, but you know, interesting. So here's X1, 17,800 with a heavy and a medium SAM and 8 surface-to-surface missiles. Okay, and 10-inch guns. Hey. So 17 heavy AA as well. So okay, some interesting choices. Here's X3 at 15,000 tons, back with 8-inch guns, 6 of them. No heavy AA at all. Interesting choice. But if we go over here, we can see we've got 2 heavy SAMs and 2 medium SAMs. That's the kind of SAM ratio I'm quite enjoying. Let me just check that this is all kosher. Yeah, this is all fine. It's just pointing out that the torpedo defense could be a little bit more. The top side is within the right proportions. So yeah, X3 isn't bad at all. I can't have 3 heavy SAMs. The fire control won't take it, but that's good to know. So let's see if we can come back. Here's number 2. Which I think we've already seen. 2 heavies, a medium, and some surface. So yeah, back to number 1. Okay, so quite the interesting choices. Let's stick with this one and see how I might want to adapt it. Okay. Had a little tweak, and based on the CA7X3 design, I've expanded this up to 16,000 tons, 31 knots, normal engine priority, modest amounts of armor, really against 6-inch guns, down to something or other. Let's just check on that. Down to 9,000 yards. But equipping it with 10-inch guns will give us a distance of 19,404. So, you know, that's quite far out under a lot of weather conditions. Yes, I know some of you may say it's a little bit romantic. I mean, there is a case for saying, well, why stop at 10? Let's go to 11-inch guns, and that would take us from 19,000 up to like 24,000 yard range. So pretty attractive. It would redefine it as a battle cruiser rather than a heavy cruiser. But okay, let's do that as a little thought experiment. So how much more tonnage? So only to 17,000. It's now a battle cruiser. But it's all fine. Aside from, you know, I could increase the torpedo defense a little bit. This obviously isn't really designed to fight other battle cruisers. That's what the 15, 16-inch jobbies are for. This is a cruiser killer, kind of like a Alaska class, or indeed in its original intent, the original Panzerschiff class, the pocket battleships. But it's not really about that. It's about a decent heavy AA, 16, some modest light AA, which is fine, and about this. This is the point of this ship. 2 heavy SAMs, 2 medium SAMs. I can't have more than 4. I can't have more than 2 each. But between them, that's quite a lot of surface-to-air missile power. Yes, I haven't got any surface-to-surface missiles, but that's fine. I've got a ton of destroyers and light cruisers full to the gunnels with surface-to-surface missiles, as many as I can manage, not to mention a very powerful carrier-based air force full of anti-ship missiles. What I'm lacking is air defense, particularly air defense for the carriers. So 1 each of these for each of the 3 flugs, the carrier divisions, and a 4th for the battle cruisers would be great. Or actually, I probably don't need the battle cruisers, because this is the kind of upgrade I'll probably be doing to the battle cruisers to make them more self-protected. So yeah, I've given it a helicopter for the extra radar capabilities that will grant in a few years' time. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's just I mean, it's tempting. 97,000 for a heavy cruiser. Now, of course, that would mean I couldn't put it with the cruiser divisions. I would have to put it in its own battle cruiser. So I probably do need to bring this down to 10 and then lose that 16,000, have it regraded as a heavy cruiser. That's all fine. Topside is fine. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. I think this will help with, will be the linchpin of the air defenses, aside obviously from the cap. But between the cap and these SAMs, I think I could be potentially quite well protected. So yeah, perhaps you can tell I'm really quite energized and excited by this design. So be kind in the comments. Don't be too miserable. But yeah, I think it's a lovely surface warfare and air defense heavy cruiser, and has the kind of punch that you just can't get in a light cruiser. So yeah, let's go with this and spend some money. Okay, take 3 months to do. So that's all going pretty well. Britain's tension is up to 8. So let's just quickly rattle through. We've got a whole pile of stuff here rebuilding, which is fine. And let's rattle through a few months to take us through to the summer. So 10 destroyers finished their reconstruction and 15 corvettes. So that's lovely. The old upheaval in Sierra Leone. Do we want to shoulder the burden and increase tensions? Of course we do. Orders. Oh, whoops. I didn't actually necessarily want to own it myself, but there you go. Some people are rebelling. Oh dear. Let's see where we are with a jet attack improvement. So still poor reliability for our first generations, even though this is variant C now. Slightly faster, which is always welcome. Not really much difference. Nothing to be too interested in, but fine. And for the end of the month, I see the British have invented missile cruisers. That allows them to have missile-equipped light cruisers without any armor, so not that important. Answering prisoners continuous rod warship have invented night airship operations. Oh no! So yeah, who knew that would be a thing? Okay. And now there was a thing about submarines, and I had forgotten that I want to auto build some submarines. So let's go to build submarines. I want to do them, the old missile submarines. I want to be building a couple. So let's crack on with them. Let's build 2 a month for a goodly while, because I think they will be very helpful in months to come. Just checking all the restored corvettes and escort destroyers. They're all fair crew quality. They will get better over time. That's fine. And let's head off into the spring. Well, the French have all their heavy ships inactive. Should we mobilize all of our heavy ships? Well, why not? I mean, what can happen? Oh dear. Farewell, Italian allies. So reconstruction's done. A new French ship with 12 6-inch guns, 12 3-inch guns, dual purpose, medium, 2 surfaces. Pretty poor, honestly. Pretty poor for a 1953-ish class. Not impressed by that. Anti-missile decoys are we're having trouble grasping. Let's hope we get to grips with that pretty soon. Rebellion in Sierra Leone. Meh. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? We lose Sierra Leone. Oh dear. Nothing terribly interesting in the news except for a few officer promotions. Right, DD1 is ready for construction. We've got 7,000 to play with. on funds of 100,000. So let's go to the build screen and let's see how many we can build, bearing in mind we're going to need a few. So let's do 4. That's at 3,900. So, okay, I'm cool with that. Off we go. Britain, by the way, is at 10 and the French are at 8. And if we go to the relations screens, they are still allied. Okay. Italy, where are you when I really need you? And so, let me just have a little quick look at the officers. So what I'm really interested in is I've got all of my above averages being utilized. I've got all of my averages being utilized except for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 4 of whom are rear admirals and 1 of whom is a captain Source, and I only have 1 below average. And my brilliant is being used as well. So I can't replace the below average with an average because you need to be Fregattenkapitan to do that, and I don't have a free one available. I do have some question marks, so I could take a brand new, no, he's a rear admiral as well. Let me go and sort on years of service. I like when I replace them with a question mark to replace them with a relatively new one. So here is the newest at 2 years. So yes, let's do them. Right, let's jump into May and see what that brings. 6 destroyers finished their reconstruction and another 5 corvettes. So that's all the little things the Italians would like to buy. By all means, give me money. That's fine. Working on the problems of double SAM launchers. Double SAM launchers would be great. A new jet attack fighter. Okay, got to replace this poor reliability first generation one. Despite it being variant C, they still haven't got the reliability improved. So what is looking like the best? Well, I think the clear winner is the Focke-Wulf. Faster, longer ranged, more maneuverable, middling toughness, absolutely fine in the weapons loads. So yeah, what is not to love about the Focke-Wulf 235? So we'll have that. Thank you very much, and hope that its reliability turns out to be a great deal better. Well, this is an interesting message. Unrest is reduced as military expenditures are at a reasonable level. Well, I hadn't actually noticed unrest being a thing, and I checked down here and actually we're at unrest 1. So, yeah, I completely not noticed that at all. I've just double checked, and the whole double SAM launcher thing is in fact a 1959 technology, and we're in 1958, so no wonder they're struggling to get there just at the moment. So, yeah, that's all fine. Right, our new Gneisenauer. Do we want to go to the build screen? Yes, we've got 2,000, and they cost 3,000, so I think we're only going to be able to build, well, no, actually, I'm going to build 2, and we're just going to a little bit of debt financing at the moment, because I think this is going to be a major addition. I think those heavy SAMs are going to be worth their weight in gold. So yeah, that takes us to minus 4,000. So fine with that. Unrest has gone to 0. Okay. So yeah. So that's got 2 heavy SAMs, and then another heavy SAM in the Scharnhorst, which is probably under heavy SAMmed. Let me just have a little look at the Blucher, which is the old Gneisenauer class, and see if there's anything to be doing there. Okay, so the short answer is yes, absolutely. The Blucher could have quite a nice further refit, still with 34 heavy AA, 4 mediums, 6 8-inches, a helicopter, a few torpedoes just for the fun of it, a few surface-to-surface missiles. I had to take the reloads off, a medium SAM and a couple of heavy SAMs. I'm still over on the top weight, so I might clear the torpedoes and put in their stead a couple of old-fashioned submerged ones, because why wouldn't you? Still a little bit too much. So I'd have to bring this down probably. Quite a lot. Eek. Okay. So I'd have to consider really the surface-to-surface missiles. I might have to take those down. However, the short answer is, particularly if I redo the engines, because the speed currently is a bit poor, I could have a very viable, costing about 3,000, something in the order of a 30,000 rebuild. I'm not going to do it because that would blow my budget, but yes, the Blucher could be further modernized, but is still, you know, helpful at the moment. Okay, and into June. Ooh, 10% off. Another Gneisenau class in 25. Yes, we'll take the offer. I mean, oops, it's going to blow the budget a little bit, but, you know, the government's concerned about tensions leading to war. We've been asked for advice. I think we should safeguard our interests by negotiating an agreement with Italy. Let's see if the Italians are interested. Oh no, they get bogged down in doing the old alliance. High-speed drag calculations. Well, we're all in favor of a high-speed drag. Improved 5-inch guns, quality 1. That's been a long, long time coming. No to the air bases. And our new heavy jet fighter is operational, which is nice. So both the Soviet Union and America have increased their defense spending. The commander of the 4th Destroyer Division has left the service, and he's been replaced by an average and wily new ambitious Fregatten captain. A question mark for the Augsburg. Another one being promoted. Another question mark for the Magdeburg. Question marks are all fine. So, yeah, all happy with that. Let's just go to our aircraft types because we need to think of what to do next. Okay, so first of all, let us obsolete the old Arado heavy jet fighter to concentrate on our new Messerschmitt. It's going to be a long time before we replace all the Arados with Messerschmitts, but hopefully that will be a good thing. Actually, may have been a bit early there. Let me just do the roll. So the Arado, yeah, similar-ish performance. So I'm really hoping that it's the reliability that will be the differentiator. Okay, we have the new jet attack under development, so that's good. We could ask for a new helicopter. We are missing a light jet fighter at the moment. I'm minded either for the patrol or for the medium bomber. I might ask for a new medium bomber and see what we can come up with. Looking at the speed, 477, that's, you know, that's pretty good. Do we need a medium bomber? So I'm going to say no to the medium bomber. I mean, it's pretty fast. It's very long-legged. The rest is all fine. The weapons loading is fine, and it's average reliability. The naval patrol aircraft, I mean, it's slow. Its range isn't as great as I would have wanted to be, but it's still pretty long range. Tough as old boots, plenty of weapons. Again, average reliability. You know, I mean, it's there to be done, but I'm kind of okay with it at the moment. I could do the light jet attacks, the light jet fighter, in order to redo those a little bit, because I do have some land-based ones. But I'm going to look at this helicopter and see if there's much development in the helicoptery. So let's request new aircraft for a helicopter. Its reliability is good, though. Perhaps I'm being a little bit too hasty with the helicopter. I mean, yeah, the speed is neither here nor there. The range for the current helicopter is short, so yeah. But with good reliability, and all it can do at the moment is the ASW, the anti-surface warfare and the anti-air warfare are in a few years' time. So I think we'll hold off on that, and we will look instead for a light jet fighter and see what we can have for that. And yeah, just see where that's going at the moment, because everything else is looking okay. And I think I want it fast and reliable out of the priorities. So yeah, let's see what comes up with that one. Okay, we're into 8,900 now. Oh, because of course we've got that bonus heavy cruiser. So we've now got 3 of these lovely new heavy cruisers, not to mention 3 more months of the Scharnhorst, and then plenty more months for all of these rebuilds to come through, and then 10 months for these destroyer escorts, and 16 months for these new fleet destroyers. Okay, so funds are going to go down, but that's fine. So last month just take us into the beginning of July, well on the way to wire-guided torpedoes, better 17-inch guns, quality 0. No. Back in your box, everybody. That's not happening. We've crushed our rebels in Sierra Leone. Hooray! So that's interesting. Britain has halted construction of a light cruiser due to financial difficulties. You'll notice its tensions with us have gone off the scale a little bit. I'll just double check on that in a minute. So tensions decrease with Japan because of a recent war. France and Italy increase because of different government systems. Soviet Union and Spain. Britain, yep, that's all good. So yes. So what is the Brits doing? So they've gone up to 11. Okay. I've got all of these. This is still quite a long time. Yeah, okay, we'll leave the submarines, we'll leave everything as is, and yeah, we could be on the cusp of war with Britain. I'm minded to take these 2 out of mothballs and put them into the reserve fleet to start to modernize them. And yeah, we'll see whether the second half of 1956 brings war with Britain, or whether they row back from the tensions. Otherwise, all is pretty good at the moment. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.